You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening, it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. I thought I would take just a moment and explain something that has morphed and changed over the last 5 to 6 years. And that's one plant that was famous for your grandparents. It's a gigantic plant. You get 10, 12 feet tall, huge spires or pinnacles. It's also called summer lilac. It was, we call it, the botanical name is Buddleia, but the common name is butterfly bush. It was always a gigantic plant, which is too big for most yards, especially the newer yards that are here. Dark night butterfly bush was a beast. I mean, small children, dogs have been lost in butterfly bush. And so it's too large. We've spent the last few years breeding new varieties. And so we now have an entire series of half the size. So instead of 10 feet, it's 4 feet. We've even got one that's called Little Miss, I think. It's only 1 foot tall. Perfect for containers. Still has the same flowers, same butterflies coming through, same long summer season bloom, but it only gets 1 foot. So no care. I mean, just no pruning needed anymore. And your grandparents only had one color to choose from. Purple. Purple's pretty. Yeah, one purple's pretty, but then 5 of them aren't. So now you can collect butterfly bush like you do roses. So they've got different heights. So in roses, you've got climbers, which I guess would equate to that dark night butterfly bush, a gigantic one. And we've got that. And then there's your hybrid teas, floribundas, grandiflors, your hip high varieties of rose types. So that'd be Miss Molly, Miss Violet. This whole series of dwarfed varieties. We're grafting these onto different smaller root balls. So the roots control how large this plant gets. Now you don't need to prune it very often. It used to be you had to prune it back, these gigantic ones. If you didn't prune it back to hip high or knee high, the thing would take over the entire yard. Now you hardly have to do that. And now we've got the dwarfed or the miniatures or even the ground cover varieties of butterfly bush. It's amazing. They're beautiful. So literally the butterflies will be all over this. That's the reason they call it a butterfly bush. You will have monarchs. You will have swallowtails. You will have painted ladies. You'll have all the butterfly varieties. It is one of the top pollinator plants to put out in the yard. We call it summer lilac, another common name in parts of the country, because it has that same kind of flower that a lilac has. So lilacs have been in bloom for, at least 2 months. They're starting to fade now. They don't bloom in the summer. They bloom throughout the spring. Butterfly bush blooms from summer through the fall. They pulsate waves. Now, here's a little insider tip. What I do for mine, especially these newer varieties of dwarfed to truly genetically dwarfed varieties of butterfly bush, they don't self-prune very well, or they bloom like crazy, and they'll put on new flowers at the tips, and the back end of that flower kind of dies off, gets brown. And so, especially before parties, I'll go through and deadhead or clean up those old spent flowers, or I'll pinch off the older flowers. Then I will go through and I'll fertilize it with flower power. We make a fertilizer. It's a water-soluble fertilizer. It's got a scoop in it. You scoop it and put, a couple scoops in your 2-gallon watering can. You go out and you water all your plants. I've been fertilizing my plants like crazy so that they will produce a lot of flowers sooner than my neighbors. I'm in competition. I admit it. I'm a gardener. I like my tomatoes. I like to pick them first. I like to have them bigger. I like to brag about how big my flowers are, my dahlias, my butterfly bush. And the way I do that is I fertilize them with flower power every couple of weeks. Actually, I've been cheating it. I've been going about every week or so now, just kind of front load it, really juice them, get them going. And they are starting to flower and look amazing. As soon as they start I'll throttle back that fertilizer because you can't give them too much. I mean, you can have them be too pretty sometimes. Not really, but you can really juice them pretty good. I'll kind of throttle that back because it can be some energy. I'm taking my 2-gallon watering cans out there in the yard and every weekend, and I don't want to do that as much. So I'll back it off to every couple of weeks, and it just keeps pulsating. These flowers that butterflies are just so, they just they can't pass a butterfly bush. When it's in bloom, they must go see it. It also attracts hummingbirds and other pollinators into the yards. But I think buddleias or butterfly bush, every yard should have at least one, if not 2 or 3 or 4, because you now collect them like you do roses. You can collect them like you do salvias. You can collect them, and they've got different sizes, places, containers, even folks in apartments or patios. You can have a butterfly bush and you'll have more activity. I mean, I think of butterflies as the fairies of the gardens. They're just magnificent. You can't not look at them. They're so beautiful. Anyway, that's how you get butterfly bush to bloom even more in your yard. Waters Garden companion plants in May are purple robe locust, Vining achevia, Prescott sunshine geraniums, and easy elegant roses.
Just plant these roses in a sunny spot and enjoy.
We've married the beauty of long stem roses with the easy care of shrub roses for landscape color like no other plant in the backyard.
Choose fragrant reds, radiant pinks, corals, vivacious yellows, and stately whites.
Extremely fragrant and only found locally at Waters Garden Center in Prescott. For a more fruitful garden, increased success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit watersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Waters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.